There we go. Mr. Samson Folk, how you doing, brother?
You scamming me, bro. You told me I have to sign up and join this community to be a
Oh,
part of this. What are you doing to me?
is
And
that
this is
what
wait.
is
So
that what it makes you do? Okay,
I
I
didn't
don't
know I had
know.
to sign
Yeah.
up. I'm sorry, I'm late.
No,
This
you're
is
good.
this
You're
is
good.
NDTalksBall. Is this
This
who's
is
on with
this
us?
is the man, the myth, the legend, bro.
Bro, I'm so happy. You know, with Abby Twitter, you never know. We got a handsome young man over here who knows ball.
Yeah,
This is what
I
exactly.
we need.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
CND, you have fans, bro. You have fans, man. You have fans in the
Nah,
in
it's
the
just
rap
kind of
community.
crazy. Like, personally, I'm just not comfortable to put my face for like 1,000 people yet. But like stuff like this is not too bad, especially when I know you're a real person. You know?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
Samson, we were just kind of talking about like the half court offense, and just some of the quirks from last night. Obviously, it didn't look good, but do you have any optimism about that changing? Like, do you have any hope for that looking better as the season progresses?
It'll look better against some teams for sure. It's the Wolves are really tough, right? And while the Raptors definitely had success, like their best half-court game of last season was against the Wolves. They scored 123 points per 100 possessions.
Yeah.
Gobert was in. Cat missed that game. Cat actually missed both games against the Raptors last year. This is something they're gonna have to navigate a lot. The fact that they shot so well on above the break threes and were still really bad in the half court, not a good indicator, obviously. They have a lot to sort out. Like, it's really good that the ball found OG, that OG shot the ball well. I think that's similar to the game against the Kings.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough, like our friend T says, right? It's watching Pascal grind it out in the half court repeatedly. Like, that's going to be a ton of what happens this season. They don't have enough shooting or ball handling. They're like, you can dress it up. You can use a term like 0.5 offense and think just saying that out loud means that they're going to be a great offense. You can dress it up however you want, but the matter, like, they don't have enough shooting. They don't have enough ball handling. They're going to struggle offensively. And how do they make up for that? Defend like hell, run out in transition. Game one, I heard you say it off the top. Like, the formula worked for one game. They have things they need to tidy up. They can certainly do better than 72 points per 100 half-court possessions. Hopefully at least get up into the 90s. But yeah, they're going to have to navigate this all season.
Are you guys seeing the highlights? Are you guys seeing the highlights in the background of this?
They're
thing?
gone now for me.
You're gone before I saw it.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let me reset this thing. But no, I agree with you. I agree that it'll look better. I wonder if like there was, and I think there is some credence to this, but Minnesota was just a tough matchup just because of their size. And guys like Scottie and Pascal who are going to just generate a lot of rim touches and paint touches. They weren't able to do that as much against this team. Now, to be fair, other than like the Cavs with Mobley and Allen, or maybe like a really, really big and switchy Nets team. I was watching the Nets last night, and I'm like, oh, this is a tough matchup for the Raptors. Like, I think this could be a really unique blend of defense that might pose a lot of problems in the half court for them. Other than those types of teams, I feel like they can generate a lot of paint touches and a lot of rim touches.
I would say that Siakam and Barnes don't actually guarantee you. They guarantee you paint touches, but they don't guarantee you rim attempts, right? Like, neither of these guys have been a high volume rim frequency guy because they get stonewalled so often, right? Because there's so little shooting on the court, because the paint is so congested. A lot of these guys have been operating in the short mid-range really often. And they obviously can, in an ideal context, pressure the rim a lot. We saw mostly them doing it in transition this last game. But those guys the rim is going to be walled off, not just by the Wolves, but by a lot of teams. And the Raptors are going to have to work really hard to get rim attempts from their second side stuff, from guys like OG, from Schroeder, from Gary attacking like advantage closeouts.
Precious too, yeah.
I just, it's crazy the fact that Siakam and Barnes, two guys who are really skilled at getting into the paint, are so rarely actually converting those into rim attempts because of all the, the lack of spacing, a lot of pack line defense that they're facing. And so I don't think that's a guarantee in the half court at the very least. It's something we can all hope for. But I think that this will be something that's present, not just versus the Wolves, but against a lot of teams this year. And obviously was exacerbated versus the Wolves.
Yeah. Andy, I feel like from what we've seen on the fast break stuff, they are living in. They're going to destroy teams in transition.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And I wonder if that's just going to be enough, like it was last year, for them to have a top 15, offense. Last year we were the 12th, right?
yeah, 12.
Yeah, it's just like, is that going to be enough? Especially with this
Uh,
nucleus.
well, on the offensive side, I don't really think so, per se. Like, comparing offensive rating and stuff, I don't think it's going to be enough. But in terms of getting wins, I think, like, this year's defense is going to be better, right? So you might see the defensive rating go up. Because if I remember correctly, we weren't that good on defense. We were about middle of the pack on defense, right?
16th, I
So
think.
if we can get, like, top 7-ish, top 5-ish, maybe we drop to, like, maybe 18, 20 on offense. You might see a jump in the wins, hopefully. But I don't think the offense itself is going to be enough, per se.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
sad.
I'm
That
actually
could be
glad
the
you brought
show.
up. I was gonna say I'm glad you brought up the defense, because I clipped up last night, this morning, just a bunch of fun defensive plays. Start of the half, it's more OG. There's some Pascal in there, some Scottie, but second half it's like Scottie and Pascal. Scottie and OG, just like stonewalling the Timberwolves and a lot of these actions. Let me run this back. Let me actually start it from the beginning, because there's
That
a lot
first
of
one
good
I
stuff.
love. I heard Andy bring this up when I was just waiting to talk to you guys on stage, but Pascal stepping out on Ant and doing like a fantastic job. You can see him guarding up. That's what the Raptors asked him to do a lot last night. And obviously Scottie should get a bunch of the attention. OG should get a bunch of the attention, but Pascal, similar to years past, is asked to guard at the point of attack like heaps and heaps. For a guy his size, he takes the point of attack matchups way better than Scottie does typically, and he's way more it. And for a Raptors team that wants to play big and still wants to pressure the point of attack stuff, Siakam having like more spry legs, not being asked to carry as much offensively, is going to make their point of attack defense way more tenable, because he has been so good in the past, sticking with guards, around screens, around pin downs, and just in isolation. So to see him like stick Ant and to track these guys off ball, really impressive. Obviously Scottie is the big name and should be, but Pascal having that versatility, like not just versatility in name, like, oh, he guarded a few different guys, but like here, stepping out, Ant, okay, I'm going to shake him and bake him. Kills the dribble. Dead. Right there. I mean, that's just like great defense. And a lot of guys, Siakam's size, and that rotation, jump back out again, like, and then they can switch at the end of the shot clock, right?
And then he gets his hand in there for the steal too. Like, it's just,
that's why they closed with Precious and Pascal, right? Like, well, Pascal's going to close all the time, but that's why they closed with Precious, is this type of, hey, Ant killed us early on getting around screens.
Yeah.
OG can't stick every single screen. How are we going to live like this? And it's like, well, Pascal can step out. Precious can step out, especially late in the clock. So, yeah, this was really encouraging to see.
There was another possession. So, actually, when you brought up Scottie and the on-ball stuff, I'm kind of curious to get your thought on how he can be better. Because, hold on, I think it's this possession right here, where he's out on the perimeter against Ant. And it's just like, I just don't see him being quick enough to guard guys like that. And that's fine. That's okay. But ultimately, like, he's not able to keep his hips moving enough, to stay on Ant.
But you can
what's
see,
the
like,
solution? Yeah.
They tried to ice it immediately, right? Because that's what you do with Scottie, is you want to keep him not turning. You want to keep him playing with his length. And so you ask him to ice a lot of these pick and rolls. That one they didn't ice, right? Because OG can get around. OG can use the swim move. The terrible rotation from OG for what it's worth. But OG, Pascal, they can both like step around screens. Scottie,
Dennis as well. Let's not forget about Dennis.
Dennis was awesome. Dennis was awesome at the point of attack. But yeah, the big thing is that Scottie, they have to ice more pick and rolls, and Scottie just needs to be more comfortable going under. I know, like, his big, he always wants to step out on guys. He always wants to pressure the ball. But when you have length over these other guys, you don't have to pressure the ball. You can let them play themselves into you. And I think it's just like a bit of a change in approach for him that'll help a lot. But also, the Raptors, obviously, this is something that Darko wanted to make a priority. Play him lower in the defense. It's way better for him. You get way more out of him. And, like, he's better low in the defense than Pascal is, right? Pascal is better in the high part of the defense than Scottie is. And we saw in years past, like, those roles were reversed in a way that wasn't complementary to either. Now, you're kind of leaning into these guys' better aspects of their game. So, but yeah, Scottie point of attack, I don't know, man. He doesn't have the foot speed to stick guys. He can't slide to stay in front of them, and he's really slow on the turn. Like he opens the gate constantly, so it's just putting him in these trail positions. That's really great. Putting him in like weak side rotation positions. That's really great. I don't like the idea of him sticking guys out on the perimeter. It's not complimentary. But
yeah, I love that he was fronting Cat all game. By the way, like not giving him that advantage of catching in the post. And then, like, his awareness on ball, like, even this didn't count as one of the blocks because I think it was goaltending, but just his attentiveness, like, his ability to anticipate that drive and then go out and block it as well. That's good recognition from him. That's also stuff that we just didn't see in the first 2 years from this, like, his attentiveness off the ball. It looks much better, honestly.
He's a quick jumper, right? Like that's that's a quality that basically every great shot blocker has, unless they're somebody like Wembanyama or Gobert, who's just their arms go forever. Is like the quicker you jump, the more room for error there is on how you're timing somebody up. And Scottie's a really, really quick jumper, very quick leaper. He has arms that go forever. Look at that nail help. And Malkai on the back end too. Look at that. But yeah, Scottie, this new role is a lot more complimentary for him. I love it. So good for him.
Does that end up working with Yak long term? Because I think Yak is good as a pick and roll guy, like containing, splitting the difference type, right? Like he can make sure that he kind of contains the ball handler and contain the guy behind him in pick and rolls. But then Scottie is the back line, sort of helping out lengthwise. You think that relationship is tenable long term with him and, defensively?
Defensively, yeah, it's a home run. Like it was a home run last season when he came over. They found a lot of stuff that worked, and then it's all about figuring out the offense. That's the big thing. Like this is a great possession. I know it didn't end up perfectly. Yeah, but that's really good.
I wish he took a pull up right there, like a floater or something.
That's if you can actually run that play back, I would love to see what the corner man was doing, to be quite honest. Because a lot of times when Scottie snaked last year, just when I was watching this stuff back, it was Malkai in the corner, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Grady in the corner. So I'm pretty surprised Grady didn't make a basket cut here, actually. It seemed like he had the back cut would have been available. And Scottie is one of the guys who would have been able to deliver on that. Since like his guy isn't in C-man, C-ball, he completely loses Grady. Like there's an opportunity right there. You saw the numbers. There's a back cut opportunity, and I wish he would have taken that, obviously. But you do want to provide spacing, of course, too. But yeah, Scottie,
I like the fact that he snaked it though. Like this is all good. I wouldn't hate the floater game a little here. Like getting into that. I think it's just going to open up more for him. There's actually a possession later on that he does something similar to.
And that's a possession that if it's not Rudy, it could be like 27 other big men in the NBA. He probably gets to a more comfortable spot for that layup or like that push shot from the block. I think that's something he can hit. But yeah, it's pretty good process.
So look, on ball again, just gets beat, and like I would just love for him to be comfortable overcompensating with his length, let that be your main thing on defense. Let that be the thing you can hang your hat on. Don't have to pressure
to play that high.
Exactly. You don't have to pressure at full court or half court with Ant. Like it's not necessary, especially when there's no screener coming, you don't have to, I don't know. That part is something that has to come. I wonder if it's just like someone has to sit him down and say, "Hey, bro, you can't be." I don't know. Like, what's the thing that has to happen here? Because it seems so obvious to me that like this is not an advantageous situation for him defensively. You know what I mean?
You might expect like maybe this one is a little bit more allowable because he thinks that Cat's gonna set that drag screen and he's trying to ice it, but Cat didn't get within like 5 feet of him, so it's kind of tough to give him the benefit of the doubt on that, especially since we've seen Scottie ride high on guys literally every time since he came into the league.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and they have to be like there. You could see they provided a ton of help. It obviously doesn't end up perfectly, but they provided a ton of help. Both Precious and Pascal play way higher up because they think Scottie's about to be put in an action that isn't helpful to him above the break, right? And so that's important to have the help from your teammates and stuff like that. But more than anything, just keeping him low in the defense, man. Because he was a superstar defensively last night, and it was because he played low in the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact. Look, maybe Cat is a good matchup for him defensively because, like, his size. I mean, for all of.
Wait, run that clip back. Run that clip back.
I got you.
Great senses, right? So he follows. Cat's gonna make the, what is it, like a UCLA, right? Or he's just gonna loop around. He tracks him, and look at the bump he gives Gobert, right? They're navigating this. He's like, okay, keeps Gobert out of it, and doubles between the two of them, and that means that Gobert isn't in the play as the offensive rebounder. It's just like little things. That's like a lot of guards aren't going to make that play. A lot of guys aren't going to be able to split the difference right there. And, you know, mixing physicality with mobility, with versatility is a really nice aspect of Scottie's game. And then obviously, you know, kind of like marauding around the paint, getting a lot of blocks. Nice to see. He did a ton of little stuff.
Also, I noticed Scottie did a really good job also playing the pop as well for Cat. Like, Cat rarely saw open looks on the pop. Scottie was always... I'm pretty sure he got a block on it, unless, like, it was a bad air ball.
He did, actually, and it didn't count. They didn't count it as a block for some reason, which is wild. He would have had
He should have had, like, 6 blocks?
Yeah, he would have had 6 blocks.
And count the Cat Anderson 7 blocks?
It's, yeah, I thought he did, like, a fantastic job. You could see on the next play, too, right? Like, he's effectively guarding both Gobert and Cat. And some of that is, like, the Wolves, they were an above-average half-court offense last season. That was with J-Mac, of course. But they have a tough time kind of coordinating how they want to space Cat and Gobert, respectively. So it was a little bit easier tonight for Scottie to, like, split that difference, figure out how he can take up 2 guys at once. And that meant that Hurdle was really able to provide, like, a ton of help on the inside without getting absolutely killed on the offensive rebounds.
Oh, I love this possession right here. Actually, I'd love to hear what you think, too, because I feel like he does a little bit of it all, especially in terms of guarding Cat. Watch this. Hedge and recover, right? Then, like, tags Rudy. And then, like ND said, pops out. Like, that's not gonna show up on the stat sheet, but, like, that's very good defense. And then OG.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I hate double drags unless you're running them for a guy like Trae Young or something like that. Double drag screens, like we saw here, are just so clunky. And, like, great job by Scottie to take away the split by showing. But double drags, they are not all everyone, like, this isn't 2018 Gordon Hayward, man, on the Celtics. It's just, double drags do not get anyone any good looks anymore unless you are, like, a small little darty guard. And, yeah, just have such a problem with them. I've seen so many of them recently, and I think they're just lazy, to be quite honest. And the Raptors, when they run double drags, terrible, man. Never works out.
Yeah, they never get anything out of it. I think
it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how strong Scottie is in, like, guarding Cat, because Cat would just push people, but Scottie was just able to contain it every single time Cat tries to drive on him. And it's kind of like we have so much strength on our wings, and that's one thing I don't feel like we really appreciate from our wing defenders. Like OG, Precious, even Pascal and Scottie, they're able to absorb so much contact that it, like, bumps the offensive player off balance. So, like, it's nice to have wings, but it's better to have just strong wings that can actually switch.
Yeah, it's definitely having strength on the court is, you know, you love it to be paired with more meaningful skill sets, but it is really great to kind of, like, muck up the game. Every action for the offense on the other side becomes a bit more belabored because it's harder to, like, move through your sets, not just at, like, one point at the point of attack, but, you know, at the third point and at the fourth point on the defense. It's just you're providing a lot of resistance, and you're pushing them, like, 1 second farther back into the clock, 2 seconds farther back into the clock, and you just make these things difficult. And also, like, look at OG. He trucks both of those screens, man. Like, a lot of guys, they would really get hung up on those. But he comes off of them. Like, he trucks both of them. That's super impressive because both Nas and Cat, like, that's a lot of strength there. There's a lot of weight to set those things. And, yeah,
big dudes.
Just very impressive.
Yeah, this is kind of what I mean by, like, the Jakob and Scottie connection on the back line here. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Should pop up now.
Yeah, the step up and then the rotation behind for sure.
And he's talking to J-Mac too, right? Mm-hmm. Like that. That's nice. That's very good.
You want to talk about spacing as well. Like the Wolves have to navigate some of their own constraints on that end too. Like the Raptors, like Scottie is so far in, he points to J-Mac. He's like, yo, split the difference. And J-Mac is like, okay, but he doesn't actually even have to really, because like Kyle is already walking towards the paint.
Right.
OG is hanging out in the area. Nas, there's like basically 4 guys in his proximity the moment he catches. And Cat, like, we can just go a little bit farther ahead in the clip. Yeah, and Cat, like, he doesn't even space properly. Like, he's stepping in towards the line. He's not like setting up, doing shot prep or anything. So the Raptors just get to converge, and when they converge, and if they'll be doing a lot of that this season, like,
by the way,
as the guy.
Look, nice pass by Gary in transition. Look at this. I just want to highlight it because it's rare. Look at this. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. No, I thought there should have been some more OG highlights in here too, because he was awesome, man, on defense. Like, especially against Ant in the second half, there was some special stuff, and a lot of it was, the difference was first half they were going under a lot of screens, right? Second half they started going over, started chasing, and then the help was just there between Scottie, between Pascal, Precious, etc. And it worked. Like it worked to their advantage. Let me see. This is the block, right? This is the big time block on Gobert, I think, or on Milton. Yeah. Nice. Oh yeah. This was a chaotic play, man.
Yeah, man.
This was wild.
Is there any shorter highlights? Because he was amazing last night. Can't lie.
There's a couple of possessions where like he picks up near full court. I wish I clipped them, but yeah, no, it was very good. He's like a clock draining maestro for other teams. Like, he's just gonna make sure you start your set at like 14 seconds in versus 13 seconds in, or versus like 20 seconds in. You know what I mean?
Who'd have thought the Raptors' clutch time offense would be Pascal canning triples above the break?
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
They're doing the same ghost stuff, but like with Dennis and Pascal being the guy in Fred's spot.
I do just to, like, we don't have clips of it obviously, but Dennis, the point of attack stuff, as you say, like clock training, yes, but you know, if they're running that double drag stuff, he's a guy who can get high and completely nullify both screens. Like, he's so good at staying attached to his ball handler without giving up driving lanes. Like, that's what Scottie's trying to do, right? Like, Scottie's trying to get high and stay attached, and guys turn the corner. And most players actually in the NBA, like, if you play high on them, they'll turn the corner on you. They're great NBA players, but Dennis, really great athlete, like really great defender. When he's locked in, man, and like he plays on that hip, and you still can't get the lane. It's so impressive. He just plays fantastic on ball defense. Of course, he fell asleep on like 3 plays last night that directly led to buckets.
That might calm you there,
yeah. But that's something people should expect, right? Like, Dennis is one of the best nail defenders at the guard position in the NBA. Why? Because he watches the ball and he's super engaged to what's happening on ball. But if he's not at the nail or not on ball, and he's like the weak side zone guy, he's probably going to fall asleep a lot this year. And like, there'll be back cuts that he doesn't pay attention to, all that kind of stuff. But man, the point of attack stuff, so good at redirecting what other teams are trying to do. And it's the little things, right? It's like, yes, you push them back in the shot clock, but you can make them start their play on the opposite side of the court. You can really start kind of shuffling things around based on how teams are trying to organize their offense, and just throwing Dennis out there, like, go blow up, you know, the first 6 seconds of their action is just, it's really great. Fantastic.
Okay. So outside of Raptors talk, I'm going to throw it to you guys. Just any suggestion. We can watch a highlight pack here from any of the games from last night. There was a lot of NBA from last night. I haven't got the chance to watch a lot of them. I'm going to probably watch the entirety of OKC Chicago just for prep for Friday and just to watch Shea.
Wait, you're watching all of that on stream?
No. Hell no. I'll watch it later. But like, anybody, what do you guys want to watch? Give me a highlight pack, whatever you guys
Mark Williams.
You wanna watch some Charlotte tape?
Wait. Cade had 30 and 9, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. You want to watch
that? He did have that.
I want to see how Cade got 30. He
Okay.
took 27 shots, right?
Yeah.
The thing was 26. But no, I watched Charlotte Hawks before the Raptors game, and Mark Williams was being Mark Williams.
He was special.
It was special. Did you see the block he had where he caught it and just pulled it down? Bro.
I love the catch blocks, the snag blocks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And obviously Koloko is not the same kind of player as Mark Williams, but I love those 7-footers who are just athletic as hell and will just muck things up and just block it and just have so much energy. Yak is a better defender, but Yak doesn't have the fun,
Yeah. Mark is strong too, man. Mark is really strong. Some of the stuff that you saw from him last year is just he just bullies, which is very cool. They're starting Killian, eh? Wow. Okay.
Oh, the Killian agenda. Still here.
Killian and Malachi are both they get one last shot, and then we'll see that post entry. Big man, big trouble. Beef stew, too small. Hell yeah. Look at that, man. Wow, great behind the back. Great read.
Wow.
And a great block. That
I think
was
I was
basketball,
man. 5?
Oh, yeah. Asar had 5 blocks last night. Yeah.
That was NBA basketball. Cade beats him to the spot. Just a complete monster over top of Lowry, the size difference. Lowry with this super sleek behind the back to split into the lane. Great backdoor cut, great pass, blocks him. Then, that's just the best players in the world, man. That's awesome to see. What a possession. He was pacing.
Hell yeah. Oh, come on. I need that.
It's Oklahoma. We're back.
If he's hitting that, man, game changes.
Here is what I've been told one of the best offensive players in the NBA.
You guys are not Tyler Hero fans?
I like Hero.
Yeah.
He's definitely not all of that. He's a great player. I think that he'd correctly identify him as a very good player to have on their team. Mm-hmm. But similar to a lot of the players in the past, I wouldn't let him be the make or break between getting a star in a package. Probably.
Who would you take right now? Poole or that's a nice take, by the way. Yeah. Who would you take right now? Poole or Hero?
I think
probably Hero. If I want to play if I want my team to be good. If I want because Hero is playing within a system and is sometimes he goes wild, but he plays pretty good basketball as far as decision making. Poole has so much talent as a shot creator and as far as a guy to get to spots, but
that was a nice play. That was a nice play. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. But yeah, Poole, some of his decision making is completely bankrupt. It makes no sense.
No way Beef Stew is hitting threes like that now, man. That's crazy.
Oh no, Beef Stew. I like Beef Stew at the 5, but at the 4,
yeah, it's kind of shaky.
It just gets me angry.
Yeah,
because he's such a poor decision maker on the perimeter, and his shooting is so iffy. And pairing that up with the already bad spacing and Detroit is just oh no.
Yeah. I don't know, man. The
Raptors would kill for a 33% 3-point shooter in their front court, man.
they have Chris Boucher. They didn't play him last night, bro.
Oh, you didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
That was kind of strange to me. Just because, to be fair, the Raptors front court is pretty packed, and it seems like they're prioritizing J-Mac over Chris, but it is kind of surprising. I think some of the offensive rebounding that he could have provided last night might have helped, and just some of the extra rebounding, extra body, just limbs. That's the type of stuff you expect from Chris. I thought he could have helped. They played 9 guys last night. Why was he not the 10th?
Well, I think the Raptors clearly in that game, a game where they couldn't get anything going, were trying to lean into ball handling and shooting as little as they have on the rest of the roster. And obviously, Malachi is the big nod to that. Malachi played a lot of minutes and struggled. And J-Mac, the idea of J-Mac is he is this springy on-ball defender who can help stick guys and who can hit threes. his on-ball defense is like unbelievably overrated, right? Like J-Mac does not really Jalen, not Jaden. He doesn't really stick guys, and the 3-point shot. I mean, we'll see. It went well in the preseason, but he's been very up and down in his career. So the Raptors are obviously going with theory in that game over, like Chris Boucher is proven, what he's going to do. But also I think Chris would have struggled immensely against, like, Nas. He would have gotten bullied. Like
just the bully ball?
Difference.
Yeah.
Cat would have gotten bullied. Gobert would have gotten bullied. So they tried to just make it so that they could be better at the point of attack and try and mine shooting from places. So Boucher, it's fine. It was just a matchup thing. He'll get into games. He'll probably play a decent chunk, probably 12 minutes or so against Chicago.
Cade is cooking on the mid-range, by the way.
He's incredible. Like, his pacing is so fantastic. Like, just get to your spot. Don't go too fast. Big step, decel, hit the layup. Like,
reminds me of a certain guy I hoop with, not gonna lie.
Trey?
You know who I'm talking about, bro. Don't do that. Yeah.
But, yeah, Boucher, I think it'll be fine. It's just a matchup thing, honestly.
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
I think the
big
takeaway I got from it was that I feel like last year we relied on Boucher for the bench, and now Darker doesn't. So maybe we could use his contract for potential trades at the guard spot. Because I can't let Malachi off the bench. I don't know about that. But using Boucher's contract for maybe a Malcolm Brogdon, a TJ McConnell. If you guys saw he's not getting minutes anymore, right?
Yeah.
So they don't prioritize him as much for bench minutes, right? So we can use his contract for trades.
But if they if that's the case, then they might want to showcase what he's doing a little bit more so that he can, you know what I mean? I agree. I think ultimately his contract does make sense to do a minor trade like that, but you want to showcase what you can do.
I'll tell you this much. The Pacers, if you say, hey, we want TJ McConnell, they're going to say, yeah, you could probably get him, but we want it to be part of something bigger. We really like number 43, and we really like Mr. OG Anunoby. Let's make something work. That's what it would be. I don't know if anyone else on the Raptors compels the Pacers to offload McConnell. As crazy as that sounds, but yeah. Jarris Walker doesn't even get minutes on the Pacers. They're like, we're gonna wait and see. So
yeah,
they're clearly not hurting for a Boucher type guy.
Pascal on Indiana would be a lot of fun, man. Would be a lot of fun. Not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, he would be incredible. I know Caitlin Cooper wants to cover him, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's worked out of a little broom closet for so many years. Could you imagine him in spacing?
With Tyrese and Buddy and all those. I mean, depending on who gets moved. But
Turner at the back line.
Yeah. No, and the pace they play at too I'm not going to say it's the exact same as the Raptors, but they play fast, man. They play very.
They scored 143.
Yeah.
It's against the Wizards though.
Yeah. That's true. The Wizards are going to be bad this year, man. Really bad.
I'm going to say less than 20 wins is the expectation for the Wizards this year, I think.
Without Koulibaly, though, he's going to be fun.
Yeah, he's fun.
What was their over-under? Do we know what that was?
No idea. No, but let me check.
Yeah, Gallo played 17 minutes. He had 16 points. I bet he gave up a lot too. But
24.5 is their over/under. I would probably bet the under on that.
Yeah, they're not going to be that good, I don't think. I think they'll be a fun team to watch. They have a lot of gunners, but
yeah.
Corey Kispert, an underrated part of my agenda. I enjoy watching Corey Kispert.
He's very underrated.
Yeah,
he's I know that dunk against the Raptors, you were probably ooh, shoot.
That was nice.
But, he's definitely underrated because the Wizards had a tough time kind of implementing him. And if you're a shooter and you don't immediately come in and shoot the hell out of the ball, everyone's going to forget about you. It'll probably happen to Grady a little bit too. People will be Grady, he's not playing. People will be quick to say it didn't translate. Look at that little Stampede cut.
Marcus Sasser, baby.
Sasser is pretty sick. Obviously, Nabil has been gassing him for a long time, but
he's been Sasser pilled. A Sasser Ivy backcourt though, that's getting shot out of a cannon. They're both so quick. It's
what do we think about Ivy and Cade? Just as a backcourt tandem for the future. I love the idea of it. I'm excited to see how they grow and complement each other, but I think just the platonic ideal of their skill sets, I think, makes so much sense.
Yeah, I agree. I love the fit, and I like specifically love the fit with them and Jalen. Like Durant, he is such a good roller, and I think he's also a really, really good screener. So you can set up stuff where he's involved with both of those guys, and then Ivy is so bursty. Like he's gonna use his quickness, whatever, to get to the basket, but Cade is so probing, so it's like a fun yin and yang, you know. It's a nice little change up whenever you want to. The shooting is obviously going to be the big factor here. Like if Cade is going to be able to be a decent shooter, if Ivy's going to be
pretty good, no?
Yeah,
yeah, 38 off the catch.
Yeah. I think I kind of trust Ivy a little bit more to be, especially if he's going to be more off ball. I don't know who's going to be more off ball actually, but like I trust Ivy to hit more shots than Cade does, at least from 3, I think. What do you think?
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I mostly just like that Cade will like slowly get into the lane, shift the defense, and open up driving lanes for Ivy. And like similar to like if you put Ivy in like a drag screen, he'll get in, he'll get a paint touch, he might like shift the defense and the ball might get into Cade's hands, and Cade might work with like an advantage. You know, the defense is in scramble mode. He can kind of worm his way into a spot. Like, look at that read right there. Like, live dribble. The defense opens up for a quick second. He doesn't miss the read. There's going to be so many opportunities that both Jaden and Cade open up for one another to kind of, like, attack spots on the defense. And especially once they both have things going. But, yeah, I love that pairing. I was so happy when Ivy got drafted.
I think, like, Stampede cut, too, like, on the weak side from Ivy, just because he's so quick. Like... If they're running empty side pick and roll and then on the other side Ivy's kind of waiting for the cut, that's like easy money every time, I feel. You just need to have spacing around that, right? You need to have shooting.
Yeah, like, and you just need to be able to get the ball there quickly. That's like the big thing. But yeah,
one thing I really enjoy about the Pistons is they have a ton of like, I saw this guy on Twitter say advantage maintainers, like Thompson. So if Cade does shift the defense and you kick it out to Jaden Ivey, he's just gonna attack the rim. Then you have Azar on the other end, and he's also a great passer. But they still just need more shooting, right? Like at the 4 spot or something. Because yeah, in theory, it all sounds good, but you might run into the same issue that we have. It's like none of these people scare the defense at all. It's just like we're just gonna stay there. If you shoot it, whatever, we'll live with it. So hopefully they can get like an elite shooter. Like I think his name Matisse for the G League this year might be that. We'll see.
Right. I do that's the thing, like advantage maintainers like Dean Wade is a really good one, right? But if you put Dean Wade on the Raptors, like nothing happens because the Raptors need play finishers. And the Pistons, they like how they're a young team. There's not a lot of pressure on them. Their hierarchy just has to kind of like sort itself out, and we'll see how it works.
Big shot.
But having guys who make good reads immediately coming into the league, super big deal, especially for when their shot making progresses to the point that it needs to. I can't wait to see how this like Pistons team ends up.
So Jalen Duran as a play finisher.
Damn.
Yeah, for sure.
Just catches everything.
Yeah,
I talked to Jack Kelly about that too, and he said that the Pistons were trying to do a lot of post-up stuff with Duran, which I guess we'll see. I think that intuitively that makes a ton of sense. Like we saw the Nuggets down the stretch against the Lakers, like they're running just repeatedly, you know, post-entry split action with KCP, Jamal Murray, and Jokic. And while Cade is not Jamal and, you know, Ivy or Asar is not KCP, I think you can kind of see like a fuzzy idea of, okay, that kind of stuff could work if guys, their skill progression keeps up going into the future. And Duran obviously isn't Jokic, but anytime you see someone doing something successfully at the NBA level, it obviously becomes about emulating it and then also like progressing your skills to that point that it works. Maybe not that they can run it like 6 times in a row and have it work, but like as a nice little counter to some high pick and roll, you enter, the defense is like, okay, what are we seeing now? And if they're shooting, you know, there's going to be a lot of back cuts and stuff that are available too. I mean, that's the whole crux of the Warriors offense for 10 years now.
Yeah. And
So we
now
have
with
like a comment here that says, "What do you guys think of the Pistons center situation?"
I would say, do you believe in either James Wiseman or Marvin Bagley? I don't know. I like that's the main question you have to have for yourself is like, are those guys tenable as backup centers? I don't know. I like Bagley a little bit more than Wiseman, but it's not by an amount that like, really makes me make
I
some
like
kind
him
of
a lot
massive
more than
decision.
Wiseman. I'm gonna be honest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
What's the pitch behind Bagley over Wiseman? Because I'm like indifferent to it. I don't really feel any type of way.
I think that Bagley is just much better at existing in the middle grounds of the game, like defensively and offensively. Wiseman is a big play guy, like these big weak side blocks. Like he's a big guy in the middle, and for like these post entries, if you want to work the ball through him, he'll have some big games. He'll beat guys down the court in transition for dunks. But like, man, as far as a guy kind of like existing, working off of other players, I think that Bagley is a much more intuitive cutter. I think he's a much more intuitive player defensively. And I think that, you're talking about two guys who are both like tremendously gifted as far as like, having some touch around the basket, being big, long. Bagley just has to stay healthy. I think he's for sure going to have a spot in the league for a while. Wiseman, we have to see, because no team is going to prioritize him as the dude. He has to figure out how to play off of other guys more, and he's struggled with that like completely. There's some passive defensive stuff. Yes, he's huge, but yeah, I like Bagley much better, quite honestly.
He's like gigantic. When I went to the Montreal game, he cooked in the second half just because he was like the biggest guy on the court. And OKC didn't really throw anybody at him to make him like second guess things. Pick and roll with him and Marcus Sasser. Watch that out. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I don't know. The Pistons in general, like they have a lot of talent that kind of like you want to see pan out, because I think Asar is such a talented player. I think Duran is such a talented player. Obviously, we talked about Cade and Ivy, but like it seems like there's a nucleus there for this team to take that next step this season. But a lot of that has to do with the three. A lot of that has to do with just like how they're going to be able to operate on defense, if they're going to get stops at a consistent rate. That's the main crux with Detroit. Like last year, their defense was maybe the worst in the league. And I mean, they were a bad team. That's fair. But it just, when you're not able to carve up any advantages on offense and the shooting is going to kill you every game, if you're not going to get stops on the other end, it's just a recipe for disaster. So even Monty Williams, like this entire preseason, he's been like, we need to get stops. We need to defend the ball first, and then the offensive stuff will come. And like if they can find a solution to that this season.
And Cade just sorting things out, right? Like this is year 3 for a first overall pick.
Yeah.
And a very highly vaunted one. Like Cade had way more press than Chet and Paolo, right? Like Cade was way more hyped up, and deservedly so. He was like a Mensa guy out there, anyway. But we're talking about like a guy who reads the game at like a super, super high level. And I think his ability to carry whatever lineup they throw out there with him is going to do a lot for the Raptors or the Pistons trying to win all the in-between minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. RR forever asked if Boucher is out of the rotation. We sort of talked about that, but like it's probably going to be matchup dependent. RR
maybe. Forever indeed, though.
Hell yeah. Okay. I think this is a show. I think this is good. Yeah. We did something. Yeah. Talk some Raptors, talk some things. This is like the first time I'm trying to do this thing. I have no idea. I'm still working out the kinks of like how to operate this app itself. Samson, thank you for joining as a subscriber, I guess. I appreciate you guys. Thank you everybody who tuned in. Samson, anything you guys got going on you guys want to like mention or? Yeah.
I'm locked in now with the morning after the Raptors. It's in my inbox. I'm subscribed. I'm ready to watch with S.
Oh yeah.
I won't be here every day talking, but I promise I'll be here in the viewers.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's 10 a.m. for me, right? So this is a time I don't really have much. I don't really have much going on right now, so you might see me
Okay.
Wait, are you on the prairies?
Yeah, I'm in Alberta.
Bro.
Wow, the
My
connection
prairie brother.
grows. The connection grows deep.
Yeah, bro. I hear you for Saskatchewan. I've been to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. That's the only time I've been to Saskatchewan, and I'll give it an 8 out of 10 experience. The caves were
8?
cool. In Moose Jaw.
Wow, that's high.
It doesn't deserve 8, man.
That's
you
high.
know,
Bro,
it
but
doesn't
you don't like the
deserve 8.
caves? The caves? I was there for
Okay,
like 2
wait.
years, though.
You're talking about the Prohibition tunnels?
Yeah, the tunnels.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They were actually in the small town I grew up in. There were some Prohibition tunnels as well.
Damn, I didn't know it was like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Quick fact for anybody. Here's the thing about Saskatchewan. I've told you this before, S.
Yeah.
There's a terrible culture of drinking and driving in Saskatchewan.
Yes, you
The
have.
premier has on his docket a DUI, of course.
Great.
A very suspicious case of hitting somebody late at night with his vehicle that wasn't a DUI. And the guy he beat in the election had a DUI. And another person who was almost winning had a DUI. It's the land of DUIs, man. It's crazy.
Damn,
People got to stop drinking and driving out there. That's my number one little factoid for
They should bring back prohibition out there, man. God damn. Okay, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate y'all. ND, thank you. Samson, thank you. We'll see you guys later. Take care.
Yep.